I generally think of myself as a very open-minded person that can come around to enjoy almost anything. Despite this, I couldn't help but feel nervous when my mom first told me we would host an exchange student for almost 6 months. Where is he from? What is he like? Would he get along with me? What about my friends? I didn't know what to expect. David Hammel from Mulheim, Germany, was to become my brother as he came to the United States for an exchange here. After I got to know David, it is safe to say that all my doubts quickly went away. After he moved into our house in August, we quickly became great friends. And as he began to adapt to American culture, I began to realize what a great all-around person David really is. He is smart, he is funny, he is bold, he knows 4 languages, and he is a great track athlete, and everything he does with passion and generosity. Since I've met him, not only have I learned a great deal about his way of life, but I've come to realize and appreciate the beauty of culture itself. David has definitely become a brother to me, and although he no longer lives in my house, I know that he impressed his second host family in the same way that he impressed mine. I will without a doubt miss him next year, and I cannot wait to visit him in Europe someday. Please stand to greet my best friend and my brother, David Hammel.
Dankeschön. Please be seated. Thank you, Julio, for the introduction, and thanks to the Vestry and Reverend Squire for allowing me to speak here today. This is truly a great honor. If you ask someone in Germany who has never been to the United States of America what he thinks about this country and its people, chances are high that you're going to hear some negative things. To paraphrase one of my friends back home, the answer to this question would sound like, they're all fat, dumb, lazy, and arrogant. The reason for his negative view and for most other prejudices is simple ignorance. Because they don't know any better and have never had contact to any Americans in their lives, people don't know what to think. And even I wasn't sure what to expect before I came here. However, since 1946, only 1 year after World War II, when the first exchange program between Germany and the USA was installed, over 1 million German exchange students have visited the United States and helped to fight stereotypes and cultural misunderstandings, helping to create a more global society. What started as a little test program with only 50 German kids has become a crucial part for, as it is called, public diplomacy, which seeks to improve the relation between countries through individual cultural exchange rather than through conventional government-to-government diplomacy. The exchange between Germany and the USA is the perfect example of how public diplomacy can help to, through student exchange programs, can help to decrease tensions between countries and build up solid relationships, spread positive ideals and ideologies, and try to make the world a better, more comprehensible place. After World War II, rather than just imposing the political system of America, the US followed the idea of permanently installing democratic values and ideas in German society. Student exchange programs were one of the many ways through which this reorientation was tried to be achieved and became an important part of the American policy of democratization of Germany. The American Field Service, one of the first programs, described the mission of exchange like this. The aim is to assure that young people whose records mark them as future leaders in their own lands shall learn from personal experience what the United States is really like. Part of the program is to offer these young people many opportunities to meet Americans, receive their hospitality, and travel widely during their stay in the United States. It is the hope of the program, and a worthy hope, that these young men and women will return to their native countries with a true understanding of American democracy and a friendship for American people. Since then, these programs have affected many American families and the way they view Germany and Europe and vice versa, and had tremendous effect on the relationship between these two countries. Germany today is one of America's closest allies, shares its democratic ideals, and is a leading country in civil rights. Student exchange programs have played a main role in creating this relationship. Today, those exchange programs have become more global, and over 30,000 high school students from all around the world, 10,000 from Germany, come to the United States each year and are part of this cultural exchange. Assist, the organization with which Clooney and I are here, has sent over 4,000 students from 48 countries to independent schools all around the country to reduce misunderstandings that so often happen across national boundaries, cultures, racial designations, and religious beliefs. As we are at the beginning of an uncertain historical period, it is the goal of Assist to promote peace and understanding across national boundaries. Today, more than ever, cross-cultural interchange offers a unique opportunity to influence the course of future world events in a positive way. Now, many of you might think, what is this guy talking about? In fact, when I made the decision to come to the United States, I didn't think about any of what I've just been talking about for the last couple minutes. It was only a couple of weeks ago, towards the end of my exchange year, that I started thinking about the greater mission of cultural exchange, when I realized how much my view about Germany and America has changed over the time. However, behind the greater mission and the 30,000 students coming each year, there's a personal story and experience of each and every one. So today I would like to share a little bit about my own experience. I've always been an adventurous person, very open to anything new to me, and I've always loved to go out and explore things. It was a couple years ago when my parents told me that one day, when I'm older, I could spend a year abroad if I would like to. I really liked the idea of going to explore a new country for a year without my parents, but I didn't think about the idea further till it came up almost 2 years ago. I was still struck with the idea of spending a year in a different country without my parents, and the fact that my brother was spending a year in the USA was an important factor too. Another one is that the USA plays a sort of magical role in the psyches of teenagers in Europe. Most movies we watch, music we listen to, computers we use, and video games we play are American, so America is kind of a big deal. However, the closer the day to make the final decision came, the more I felt insecure about what I was doing. It felt almost impossible to leave my best friends behind for a whole year and come to a completely new place with different language and without knowing anyone. After talking it over and over with my family, I felt secure enough and signed up for this exchange programs. When I told my friends about it, some were really excited for me, but others didn't understand why I would want to come here. You're just going to get fat, dumb, and ugly, some said. And others were like, why would you want to go to a country where they don't watch soccer and eat McDonald's each meal? Everyone was asking me questions and giving completely helpless advice. From some of my friends, I even got a Weight Watchers handbook. But what everyone asked me was why? Why would you want to go for a year abroad? Depending on who asked me that question, I always gave them the answer they wanted to hear. To learn English, I told my teachers. To learn about another culture, my grandmother. And to my parents, that it was the easiest way to get rid of them. It was one of my best friends, though, that made me realize the real reason. Seriously, though, why would you want to go? You have all you want here. Family, friends, sports club, and even a season ticket for your favorite soccer team. And it is exactly because I had everything and everything seemed so normal to me that I wanted to experience something different and go out of my way for it. So I leave Germany on August 17th, all pumped, and arrive in Boston, where my exchange program offers 4 days of orientation. In these 4 days, they give you all kinds of advices like be nice or always do your homework, which I found out to be impossible. Then I got here to Pennsylvania, still all pumped. The first days at EA, I was really excited about everything, and the first weeks were overwhelming with so many new impressions and experiences. TVs in every classroom, small classes with teachers that actually know your name and notice if you skip class, and even toilets that are actually clean enough to use them. I had to make such an effort to understand English that even classes like US history went over pretty fast. The teachers are actually nice. I know many of you might think I'm just saying this, but you don't want to know how teachers in Germany are like. So many new faces and names to learn, and so much homework. I remember the awesome time in the first couple of weeks where I could fall asleep every day at 8 o'clock straight. I had to adapt to a new culture and find my place at a new school where I didn't know anyone, with new teachers and different subjects. I had to learn the hard lesson that in America you actually have to be in class on time, which I'm still struggling with, as some of my teachers might be able to tell you. I remember me staying in the cafeteria in line to pay my lunch and trying to figure out where I have that little white sheet of paper with my lunch number on it, and of course I didn't find it, and everyone behind me was getting mad. However, after the first weeks, my initial euphoria was gone, and I started feeling uncomfortable about all the things that were different from Germany. I didn't have any friends yet. People in line for lunch were still getting mad at me, and I didn't know where to sit at lunch. And when I finally found a place, I either didn't know what people were talking about or I didn't know what to say. I was still actually doing all my homework, and reading in English took me forever. And then there was academics, where my lack of English knowledge and bad time management started paying off in the first test. American Lit, D-, Latin, F, Math, F. I mean, it's kind of hard to get a good grade in math if you don't know what grab the function of x means. But yeah. I just felt miserable. It was during this time when I remember Reverend Squire's chapel talk about the quote, "To the world, you may be just one person, but to one person, you may be the world." And me thinking how true it was for me. I didn't know many people yet, and a simple "what's up" from someone in the hallway would make my day. When I look back, this was probably the hardest time of my exchange year, but it forced me to keep up my positive attitude and try to integrate into a new culture even harder. With time going by, I felt more and more at home and started making great friendships at school. My grades were getting better. I started understanding what people at lunch were talking about. I finally knew my lunch number and got more involved at school. And the best thing was that I realized how easy life as an exchange student can be, and that you can get away with almost everything. With cross-country season at its peak and us beating the forts, I was completely enjoying myself, and my efforts started paying off. And then time went on so fast, so that now my time here is almost over, and I feel perfectly integrated into American society and EA, and I'm really enjoying my time here. The idea that I have to leave this place in about a month feels really weird. I've met friends for a lifetime. I've seen a lot of this country. I've been to Mexico, Canada. I've seen the Phillies, the Flyers, the 76ers at the stadium, and even kind of understand the rules of baseball and football. And most importantly, I got a prom date. With my time here, I've been learning a lot about a new culture, but also about my home and me as a person. I realized that as long as you can't compare something you're used to something else, you actually don't even know much about what you're used to. For example, I never realized how small patriotism in Germany is, and how people still struggle to have an unbiased discussion about problems with immigration and diversity because of Germany's history. So instead of dealing with and addressing the problems, people ignore them in fear of saying something wrong. Learning about a new culture is very interesting, and it helps me to get a new perspective on my home that I didn't have before. The differences between the US and Germany in the view of war, the military, or social welfare and healthcare are fascinating and help me to create a more sophisticated point of view than the one I had before. Today I see the United States, Germany, and me as a person in a different way. And this experience has clearly helped me to grow up as a person, to open my horizon, and it strengthened my ability to adapt to different surroundings. And most importantly, I learned that not all Americans are fat, dumb, and arrogant. I can just encourage all of you, go out of your comfort zone, go out of your way, go to study somewhere abroad or experience something different over the summer. As for me, I can say that this experience has clearly changed my life. Now, where my exchange year is almost over and I'm about to go back to Germany, I wonder, what have I done for this community? What have people learned, and what will they remember from me other than German words that are inappropriate for chapel? I hope that people will have me in as good memory as I have all of you. Last but not least, I would like to thank my two wonderful host families, which have welcomed me with open hearts and treated me as if I was part of their family. I would like to thank the school for giving me this opportunity, my friends and the class of 2013, my teachers, especially my advisor, Mr. Hess, and Mr. Farrell, my coach through cross-country, winter track, and track season, and everyone here for being part of my experience. I would like to leave you with a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Life is a journey, not a destination." Thank you.